So, so our story begins, actually, I got into business in '83, and I love masterminding. And I got to say this, because I always tell Don every time I see him. Don and I were in a mastermind in 1995. And the neat thing about masterminding in real estate is you seek out opportunities to learn from others. So I'd get in an airplane and go to Vegas to meet with Don and really about a half dozen really good agents from the West Coast. And I never forgot that. So my next journey was from RE/MAX to Keller Williams. Keller Williams is the best thing that ever happened to me. Changed my life, not because of Keller Williams, but because of people that you meet. Got to meet Gene and Susan. Since then, I've become really good friends with them and had a long journey together. And Gene's always been helpful to us. He would come into town, do trainings, but I met him through a training. And that's the secret that people don't realize. And I'm going to digress a little bit because I always like to talk about Gene. That's the secret about the success with EXP. Someone said it earlier, getting the right seats on the bus. And I'm his raving fan next to Susan. And when he came to me and asked me if I knew about EXP, and after we went through this whole journey together, if you look at it, we've got Glenn, who's brilliant. Jason is brilliant and smart. They're very talented. But the secret I always thought that blew up EXP when Gene came is because he spent all those years with Keller Williams and Susan, and they trained all over the country. And they had a whole raving bunch of fans all over the country, not just in Austin, not just in Dallas, but people loved them and respected them. So when Gene joined, people watched and people looked, and obviously a lot of people followed. So we're very fortunate that Gene called up and he shared that story with us and said, hey, I'm going to meet Glenn, I'm going to meet Jason, I'll call you when I get back. He calls me from the airport, real Gene, he's always to the point, I'm doing this and you're doing it with me. I said, oh, great, thanks, buddy. I signed a contract a week ago for 3 years and I can't come right now. So he likes to say, we said no, but we said yes, but later. So I just want to clarify that. It was yes, but later. It was never no. I could never say no to Gene. So anyways, we're really grateful that he's doing this. I'm excited about this because I think we all need this. It's great that everybody can get up and share. Our story's a little bit different. Nicole was phenomenal. Chuck's great. But it's a good opportunity for people to come and share and take little things from each other and grow from there. So I'll start it this way. So we've been in it probably over 5 years now. We were fortunate enough to bring it into Michigan. It was kind of fun because I was under the radar. I'd drive Gene around and he'd recruit, and then later on, I got to join and we just went from there. But the interesting thing was watching it grow, and so being regional directors together at Keller Williams, you knew a lot of people. I had 30 offices I was in charge of. I always tell them that it was from '06 to '12. We felt in Detroit that we were in the recession first. That the 2008 happened in 2007 in Detroit.
Actually, the fourth quarter of '05.
Yeah.
We shifted, yeah.
She tracks the numbers, so it's kind of funny. They ended up, we had 30 offices, kept them going and doing all that, but the market definitely shifted back then. And Detroit, from that point on, it took a lot longer to get in. But the neat thing about it is, I got to know a lot of people. I had 30 people, sorry, Gene. I had 30 people, or 30 offices that were in Ohio and Michigan. So I was the guy that they had to answer with, and I had a lot of connections there. So I'm getting to a point here that's kind of interesting where we're at in our journey with attraction. So right away, one of the guys, Dave Best, I can say his name now, he was in a Keller Williams regional event where I no longer was, all right? I had left there. I left there in 2014. And Dave took a phone call from Gene and joined and went along the journey. So what I have found to be real about where I am on attraction is that I did it with Keller Williams. I have a big downline at Keller Williams. We've been successful with EXP. I was successful with RE/MAX before. But I turned 66 in December, And I was going to retire by 66. I didn't want to retire. Now I don't want to. But what was interesting to me is I hit a ceiling. All the people I knew, all the people that I've connected with, some of them 3 years later have come to EXP and have done really well here, and we're excited to be in business with them. But I kind of had an aha moment a couple weeks ago when I said to one of our really good attractors, I said, "Do you make calls every day?" And she says, "No." I said, "Well, how do you build your downline? How do you build your organization?" She says, "Social media and doing all these other things." I said, "Interesting." I said, "I call every day." Gene knows it because he's on some of the calls, and a lot of times he's strategizing with me, but I still call every day. So the realization I had is there's always a better way to do things, and that's what's great about the masterminding and getting to know people and hearing these stories up here, which are awesome. I said, I have to shift. So I get to the point with Deb. So back in Keller Williams days, I'd been in the business for 19 years, and you're not allowed to recruit and be a team leader, so she came in the business. So Deb got into business. She took over the real estate side of the business.
And I swore for years I would never be a realtor.
Yeah. So she came in and did that part of it. And so we had this aha moment, like I said, and Chuck Fazio, who's in the room, was kind enough to take a call from us and remind me where you're at and how you're going to change. So I guess the main point I'm trying to stress to people is you got to think outside the box and not fall back to what you're used to doing. And I'm guilty of that. I've been successful with it, but I'm not at the goals we want to be, and I'm guilty of that. Chuck says, "Well, tell me your story about EXP." So I went in, he says, "Stop it." He says, "Debbie, what's your story?" She said, "I did 22 million last year, solo agent, did this, and that." And he says, "That's your attractor." So here's the realization I came to. I don't have the credibility in the market anymore because I have not sold real estate for 20 years. My wife has. She's the people do business with and like and attracts. So after, I don't know, 6 months ago, you were at Gene and Susan's, and Gene and Susan sat down with Deb, and here's the bottom line. We shifted from more business now to more, she's going to help me with attraction. So we've got our initiatives, and I'll let you talk about it.
I think it was during Michigan's very lengthy shutdown during the beginning of COVID that I had time to work a little bit more on his side of our partnership. We're a domestic team, obviously at EXP, and it's been wonderful because he's focused all on attraction. I've done all the production. And it's time for me to back out of that. So all of you can help him get me out of my own way and let go of that business because it's been in the family for many, many, many years. And I think it's like the art of the deal. And you kind of get addicted to it. And our business is 99.9% referral and past clients. So we're making plans. We got a lot of things going on. And I was happy to hear that EXP has initiatives because we've been working on this for 6 months. And this is our 2022 initiatives. And we've just kind of lose the concept guy. Typically, I'm the detail person. So we kind of examine everything, go through ROI, cost-benefit analysis on different things, and we have a whole lot of items, really exciting things we're going to implement this year. And you know what? At the end of the year, we'll see what went right, what went wrong, benchmark ourselves, and I think we're really looking forward to it. So this is my year, a big year of transition for me to kind of back off of the sales. And I think going forward, I initially said I'll probably do maybe 10 to 12 sales a year because I want to stay relevant in the business. Too many things change every year, and we have to know how to crack people's heads to get things done all the time. But that way I can coach and mentor our people more effectively.
And so here's the other thing, and I love Nicole's theme, what she's learned along the way, because you do learn along the way after doing attraction. And at different levels, different things are important. At us now, it's important that we're at a 25 FLQAs because we're leaving too much money on the table. So part of our initiatives are turning things up a little bit. We've always run it as a team leader. We have our meetings every week. We do a lot of things everybody shared today, and it works because you do have a brokerage. You're owning this brokerage. You got to love on them. You got to support them. We recruit for them. We do all that. But for us personally, Deb said, we got to start worrying about ourselves. We got to complete our first level because I like goals. Gene's got me to set my goals. I'm not at my goal yet. I didn't hit my goal. So I had to be really honest with myself. What do I have to do differently? It's me. It's on me. What do I have to do to shift? So this what's so exciting about this is because everybody, whether it's social media, Deb's background, she loves to make little videos. She loves to do all kinds of marketing pieces, all the things I can't do. And so that's why we're this year going to pour into
And he likes to
some
talk a lot, which is the thing I don't do.
So if you want to just share just a few things we're going to do this year
yeah.
more differently and spend more time in and just hopefully be held accountable to the people that are friends in the room and share with us along the way what if they've done that and what we need to do better with that.
Right. Yeah, so just we're going to go through some rebranding. We have a workplace group page for all of our agents, and it's a major connection there for us, but we're going to kind of make a little bit of a new look, rebranding there. We've implemented Ideal Estate, so if any of you know Brody Saunders, it's his company. It's basically like the LinkedIn for realtors. Got that going. We're really excited about this. Lou's brainchild, and I think, I don't know, we're really looking forward to this, but we're getting into a real estate school this year. And so some people would say, oh my gosh, are you crazy? New agents are absolutely the worst. You're going to lose 85% of those people in the first 5 years. But then we were talking with Gene the other night, and this is a really wonderful statistic. I think it came from the Harrises, and that is that 87% of the deals done in real estate 5 years from now are going to be done by people who don't currently have a license. Hey, we're getting out of sales. I'm getting out of sales. We need to bring a lot of new people in. And what better way to have great agents is to train them ourselves. And when I got into real estate, I told Lou, no, for many, many years. My background's manufacturing. And when I got into coaching early on, I think 2 years in as a realtor,
With Dave Jinks.
with Dave Jinks, he said, you are a secret agent. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, you're afraid to tell people what you do. And really I wasn't embarrassed, but it was just like, this is really different from my corporate world, my business world, and it just dawned on me, I have to be the agent of change. All those people that I don't really think maybe they have the ethics or the work or the professionalism that they need to look at me. I'll be the agent of change. So this is what we instill on our people. I've loved teaching in EXP world as part of my culture requirements for ICON. So we love doing the mentoring, the coaching, and looking at perhaps we're interviewing a productivity coach. Because it's going to be more work bringing new agents in, but we want to teach them the right way, and we want them to be superstars.
And here's another lesson we learned, and I got this from Brent when he was building his organization. He said, you got to spend money. You got to spend time, and him and James do that so well, and I learned from listening to them on that, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to shift it to do this, and we thought, okay, we tell our agents all the time, if you want to be a good recruiter or if you want to be someone that's great in attraction, you got to start by being a good agent. You got to be a good agent. If you're not a good agent that return phone calls and don't talk to people and negotiate fairly and do all the things you need to do as a good agent that people want to talk to you and do a deal with you, they're never going to take your phone call if you call them up to ask them about EXP or making a move. They're not going to do it. So the real estate school idea came from our friend, and it was like, okay, we have a responsibility to help bring in the next generation of agents. I think the median age now is 62, so a lot of people are getting out of the business. And we thought, okay, we've got to build our first level. We got to focus on our FLQAs. We've got to get them, whether it's new agents we're in relationship with. You've got to get that, and then you've got to have the setup that they're staying qualified. That's the other thing, too. You've got them on your front level, and they got to be qualified. So that's the big thing we're doing this year. We want to focus on that so that, like I said, when you first start out, you're glad to get 5, 6, 7 people. But as you get going and you have 150 people on your 5th level or 6th level and you're not getting paid on them, then you've got to be more purposeful on what you're doing on your 1st level. And that's what Deb said. We're going to work this together. We're going to do the things, put our 2 things together this year. We'll delegate more of the deals off and really get to the point where we finally hit the goal on that. So one other last, were you going to share other thing on that?
Yeah, that's probably good. I mean, I don't know.
Two things.
Closing gifts,
Yeah, I'm
co-op
gonna
agents.
leave on 2 quick things because I know we're at the end of the day and I don't want to keep going. But a friend of mine that's in marketing, so you know we're all dealing with agents all the time, and you want to give them something, and so they've got a company where they do branding on stuff with these cookies and stuff, and they're actually really good. I'll have Gene eat them later because I know he likes his sweets. Yeah, that one's almost gone. But here's what's cool. I thought how neat it would be to just start sending a box. We can brand it any way we want it for attraction. And just, you know, everything, our story, like Kurt's napkin presentation or ours or Gene's, you can do whatever you want to do in there and just send it to them after every closing or every time you do a deal with them, and just kind of a reminder. So we're going to do stuff like that. And the last thing I wanted to say that I'm so grateful for, what Gene changed my life on, is we had a real tragedy in our family this past week, a terrible tragedy. And so what was interesting to me walking in this room today is technology's changed the way we live. We know what it's done in real estate, right? I love that metaverse thing. It's true. So I'm live streaming a funeral coming here. And it was my cousin's husband. And it was a tragic, tragic situation. But listening to it, I couldn't help but smile, because the one thing Gene has put in my head is he is creating a legacy, not for his kids, not for his grandkids, but his grandkids. It's going to go on way past anything that he could have ever done any other company, and that's always stayed with me. So I'm at a funeral today and watching it, and it's on a memorial, and it's all about the legacy that Bob left to his children and his grandchildren. And it hit me that I'm walking into a mastermind talking about everybody growing and creating this wealth that we want to pass on to the rest of the people in our lives. And what a awesome opportunity that we have and are doing to leave a legacy, not only in deeds and what you do, but to be able to fund the things that people you love down in the future that you might not even know yet. A great grandchild or something that's not even born, you might be long gone. And I just thought, wow, how awesome is that? And it's stuck with me for all this time with Gene and the legacy of that. So I want to thank him for that. I want to thank Brent and James for all that they do and letting us come talk. So
Thank you so much. And I just want to say real quick, this has been Lou's baby for many years. So I'm very, very grateful and very humbled to be here in this room with all of you and to call all of you friend. So if I haven't met you personally yet, I hope to soon.
All right, Lou says this one. Big Lou. Give Big Blue and Deb. I love them. Big Lou and Small Deb. All right, so we are done with day one. How was it? Get some good ideas? So couple